The world of Super Mario is filled with wonder, but it is also filled with false claims. So today we are going to bust a bunch of myths. For example, can Nabit die to these door monsters? Can you avoid a bull rush using the drill mushroom? And do the hoppy cats in the world map jump when you do? Well, let's find out. Number 15. One of the strongest power-ups in the game has to be the bubble flower. In a lot of instances, it can defeat enemies in a second. However, some people in the comments also wondered if it could do more than just that. LinkFan asked me if items can go into the bubbles you shoot. Think of power-ups, coins, and other stuff like that. Well, I wasn't 100% sure, so I did some testing. And I noticed something interesting. The results were mixed. Now, whenever I killed an enemy that dropped a coin, it would go in the bubble. Most likely because the enemy was already inside of the bubble, and it dropped a coin. However, when I tried to do the same with just coins or power-ups, it doesn't work at all. They won't go inside the bubble. So yeah, on the other hand, this claim is true, but it's also kind of false. I'm a bit mixed on the whole situation, really. So I guess all of you in the comments have to decide what is what. Number 14. Now for a quick myth. A claim that can be solved in a matter of seconds, but still it's a good suggestion. Gas said, when you crouch with the fire flower, you can still shoot fireballs, unlike in the new Super Mario Bros. Series. So I went into a level, got a fire flower, and tested this out. And as you can see, you can crouch and still throw fireballs, even though Mario is clearly doing so while not seeing a thing. But hey, it works! Number 13. And while we are talking about simple and short myths, we will do another one, because PMK said, the coins in a level will dance if you touch the Wonder Flower. Even the purple 10 coin will dance. Now after reading this, I decided to see if it was really true, by going into the level and activating a Wonder event. And when I did, I saw literally everything dance. No matter the kind, all coins were dancing. But then I wondered, is this only in the first level or others as well? So I went into another one to test it again. And yeah, it seems like they will dance no matter which level you're in. So this claim is true. Number 12. In one of the previous videos, we did some experimenting with Shadow Mario. You know, this weird clone that shows up during some of the wonder effects? And today we are once again gonna mess with this strange being. Because George asked me, can you defeat him using the drill mushroom? For example, by going under him and then jumping up. Well, I went into a level where I know I could find him and tried this method to see if it would do anything. Because as far as I noticed, melee attacks don't do much. Now when I attempted this, I saw that it didn't work, so I tried it again, and this was just as unsuccessful. The shadow clone was fine while I lost my power-up. So yeah, as far as I can see, this won't work. He is too powerful and any form of melee attack will end in pain, which means that this claim is false. Number 11. Now, one other thing we've messed around with a lot is the elephant power-up, because it makes you so big and heavy. But so far, we've never seen that it actually matters in the game. Just look at all the other videos to find out why. So today, we are going to test another thing related to that. Because Blue Cat Gamer said, can you jump on a bubble as Elephant Mario? Now, I expected this to work, but maybe the increased weight made it impossible, or it would have some sort of effect. So I went into an arena level and started experimenting like crazy. Now, as you can see, I can jump on the bubble. It works like normal, but everyone knows that you will go really high into the sky if you jump on it and hold the jump button. So I tried that as well to see if anything was different. And as you can see, that clearly isn't the case. And that means that the claim is true, even though it doesn't really make sense. Number 10. In this game, we see goo. Stuff that is sticky, green, and a bit odd. But hey, Mario and the others have to save the world, so they just deal with it. But it is interesting stuff. And so many people have asked me to test certain things to see what is possible. And this next myth is another great example of this. Drago asked me, can you use fireballs and bubbles in the goo and around the goo? Well, who knows? So I went there to mess around with this Nickelodeon slime time to see which offensive options we have. First, I tried the bubble, and here I could see that it works perfectly no matter what. It works while inside of the goo, and even outside of it. But then I moved over to the fireball, and I saw that it behaved differently. The fireballs can't enter the goo from the outside. As you can see, they just hit the stuff and it's over. But if you're close enough, or inside of it, you can shoot fireballs, and they pass through completely. So yeah, you can't hit wobbos from the outside, but as soon as you throw the fireball inside of the goo, it's fine, which I found a bit odd, but at least this claim is true. You can use these power-ups in the goo. Number 9. Now, we all know that Nintendo loves their music. It's an important thing in basically every Super Mario title, and in Super Mario Bros. Wonder, they took it a step further, because they added a bunch of Wonder Flower effects that involve music, including singing enemies like Piranha Plants. And according to Bacon Cookies, in Piranha Plants on Parade, if you kill the Piranha Plants, there's no more singing, only instrumentals. So I went into the level to see if this claim is true, and when I started killing off all these annoying little buggers, I noticed something. The singing will actually stop, or change depending on the amount of Piranha Plants that are still around. Just listen to this. So yeah, clearly this works. This claim is true, but personally I wasn't too surprised, as I noticed this myself in-game already. I mean, all of you know that I played through this game as soon as it came out. But hey, people wanted me to add it, so I did! Number 8. Every time I go through the comments of a myth-busting video, I found more and more claims of interesting details that I had never seen in the game. And often, these turn out to be true, but not always. And today we have another one to look at, because Meister I said, here's a fact, while using the drill mushroom and going under a Goomba, they will actually look down, but they won't be mad or something. Now, this was a bit of a bold claim, and would show that most enemies in the game are kind of stupid. They are aware of Mario, but they don't do anything. So, is this a fact at all? Well, after testing it, I gotta say, no. As you can see, the Goomba even saw me going underground, but as soon as I was completely under, he ignored me. Even when I went right under the Goomba, they really didn't care. So yeah, this claim is false. They won't notice you at all. Number 7. Again, let's look at a small myth to see if it's true, because I know all of you like these quick ones. As we all know, Nintendo added a bunch of new enemies to the game, like the Hoppy Cat, an enemy that jumps when you do. But they aren't just seen in levels, but also in the overworld, for example, in Shining Falls. However, do these jump when you do? Well, that's what Princess Peach Toadstool from the comments asked me. So I decided to try it. But when I jumped, the Hoppy Cat didn't seem to react at all. Sure, they were hopping, but not when I did. So yeah, they don't seem to respond to me. So I would say that this claim is wrong. Number 6. Sometimes all of you lovely people in the comments will ask me to do things I ain't too great at. I mean, I'm not horrible at 2D Mario. I know quite a lot of people who are a lot worse, but I'm not some crazy speedrunner. And this next myth required some skill. Real Cover said that you can find 3 hidden 1-ups in Triple Threat Deluge, that you can access after the Wonder Flower by going across the top of the level. Now, I tried this and failed, because again, I ain't that good. So after a number of tries, I looked it up online, and I saw this person, Micro on YouTube, who was able to do it, and I saw it was a real thing, which is quite cool. If I remember correctly, this is something that was seen a lot in Super Mario Maker 2 levels, so it's clear that Nintendo learned from what their fans were making, which you can even see if you look at all their interviews, and I freaking love that. Number 5. Now, this next one is another interesting suggestion involving this guy, and once again, this little thing. Because Awesome Ender asked me, what happens if you use a drill power-up to hide in the ground or ceiling while being chased by a shadow clone? Well, I had no idea what would happen. Maybe he can't find you, or maybe he grabs you out of the ground. So I decided to give it a try. I mean, I was already there after all, because I was testing another myth. Now, when I summoned this demon, he came right after me, but I went into the ground to hide. And surprisingly enough, he loses track of you and even has an animation of him looking around a bit confused. So yeah, you can hide from him, which I didn't expect at all. I thought he would get you regardless. But hey, this does show that the claim is true. Number 4. Now, so far we've looked at one little level secret, but we are going to look at another one. And this one is in Raaghs in the ruins, because apparently something can be found here. Haya said that after the first checkpoint, you can drill into the ceiling and find a secret up there. But it does require some good platforming. He even said in brackets, it's very hard. So this was perfect for me! Not. But still, I tried it, and after many attempts, I just couldn't do it. There was this little gap that stopped me from going up there, and I had no clue how to get past it. So I went to the one place that could help, the internet. But when I was looking around, I couldn't really find anything. Sure, there are other secrets in the level, but nothing related to what the commenter was talking about. So yeah, as far as I can see, this claim is false. But if someone wants to prove me wrong, then please do, because in the end, I ain't perfect. Number 3. Now, in a previous video, we tried to kill the shadow clones, and since we were already messing around with them in this video, I thought it would be fun if we tested another myth involving them. Once again, we will try to kill it, but this time we will use the bubbles instead, because that's what Buying a Dumb Guy asked me. Well, I mean, not really, but he mentioned it could stun him. So I went into the level, grabbed the flower, and Shadow Mario appeared. So I started bombarding him with bubbles. Lots of bubbles. And yeah, it does stun him. Again, it's clear that this enemy is only vulnerable to ranged attacks. But then I wondered, can I kill him this way? Well, who knows? So I kept attacking it to see if anything would happen. Now, I did this for 5 minutes and 10 seconds straight. But he just wouldn't die. As far as I can see, it's just impossible. So yeah, the claim is true. However, you can't kill him this way, sadly enough. Number 2. Now, this next claim just sounded silly to me. When I read it, I was like, yeah, but this doesn't work, right? Because this person said that Nabit can be killed by these door monsters that are normally seen in the ghost houses. Well, mostly seen in the ghost houses. Now, when I read this, I didn't believe it. Because as far as I know, Yoshi and Nabit are invincible. They can't take damage from enemies. I mean, that was the whole point. They are characters for less experienced players. They can only fall in pits or lava. But I tested it anyway, so I confronted this enemy as Nabit. But when it attacked, nothing really happened. Nabit didn't die or anything. So yeah, as expected, this didn't work. So I will say, this claim is false. Nabit can't take damage whatsoever. Number 1. Usually, when you grab a Wonder Flower, you are in for something weird. For example, being transported somewhere else, and usually you just go with the flow. I mean, it's hard, but that's also what makes this game so fun. However, someone asked me an interesting question. Super Plush Power said, can you burrow under the ground and avoid a bull rush? Well, I always hopped over them, so I never actually tried this. So I went into Bull Rush Express and attempted it. First, I did it with a single one, and here I could easily hide underground as it ran right over me. But then I thought, well, I gotta try it with the Stampede as well. So I grabbed the Wonder Flower and tried it again. Now, no matter the amount of bull rushers, I was able to hide underground and survive the whole ordeal. Although the Wonder effect did fade away when they passed. So you really have to jump on top of one for that. But still, this claim is true. The Drill Mushroom is amazing for a lot of things, as you can see. Now, those were all the myths I wanted to cover. But But, don't worry, I made more videos like this, so check them out. They are filled with a bunch of fun myths. And leave your ideas below, because you might get featured. But don't forget, subscribe and like, because more videos are on the way.